We have got some significant news to discuss that could have far-reaching implications on immigration policies and the border. In this video, we're going to talk about new immigration policies where Republican candidates are pushing for mass deportations, a position that is as extreme as it may be unfeasible.
Visit our Swat&Vee channel with your questions to see how best we can help you out with your process. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel.
So, without any further delay, now let's get into the video and find out what the latest updates are on U.S. immigration. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is running for president, has stated that he would sanction the use of lethal force against those who cross the border illegally, work to end the practice of birthright citizenship, and dispatch the military to attack drug cartels inside Mexico, a crucial ally of the United States, even without the approval of its government. His positions place him on the far right of Republican presidential candidates, many of whom are appealing to the intense resentment of GOP primary voters on immigration. DeSantis has now disclosed another radical stance, deporting all illegal aliens who crossed the border during the Biden administration. Mr. DeSantis frequently attempts to incite anger with his border policy. At a campaign stop in Long Beach, California, Mr. DeSantis responded to a reporter's inquiry by saying, "Everyone that has come illegally under Biden should be sent back." Right there are maybe 6 or 7 million people. It will take a great deal of work. Even if Mr. DeSantis vastly underestimated the quantity of illegal immigrants who have entered the country since Mr. Biden took office, such a large-scale deportation program would necessitate significant expenditures for the country's immigration enforcement apparatus and might have a negative impact on important American sectors. Mr. DeSantis would need to hire more immigration and customs enforcement officers, approve numerous raids into immigrant communities, significantly increase the amount of immigration detention space to meet federal standards, and significantly increase the number of airplanes used for deportations in order to carry out this many deportations. For cases to be decided in months rather than years, immigration courts would need to be strengthened with billions more dollars. Due to the immigration court backlog, some migrants who have just arrived in the United States have been given court dates that are 10 years away. However, Mr. DeSantis is not the only politician making promises to change the country's immigration policy. Donald J. Trump, a former president, promised on Friday to carry out the largest deportation operation in the history of our country, if re-elected. The former president is now leading the governor of Florida by about 40 points in national polls. The contrasting statements demonstrated how important border security has becoming in the Republican primaries. Using a campaign event as an occasion to attack Mr. Trump, Mr. DeSantis claimed that the incumbent had failed to get the job done on the border during his first term. Although the two candidates essentially agree on immigration policy, Mr. DeSantis argues that he would be more successful in implementing a hard-line approach. In his remarks, Mr. DeSantis added, "I would observe that the former president is campaigning on the same promise he made in 2016 that he didn't deliver on." Mr. DeSantis most likely meant the approximately 6 million individuals who have been apprehended crossing the border since 2021 when he said 6 or 7 million. That is roughly twice as many undocumented immigrants as actually entered the nation and remain here when Mr. Biden was president. At least 1.6 million of those 6 million have been given permission to enter the country temporarily while being investigated by immigration authorities. About 1.5 million additional people may have entered the nation illegally without being apprehended, according to officials. According to government estimates, there are approximately 11 million unauthorized residents of the nation. Mass deportations are more complicated than the Republican candidates would have you believe. Many of the individuals they refer to as immigrants are either eligible for or already have legal status in the country. Temporary protected position, which Mr. Biden just granted to over 500,000 Venezuelans who have entered the country since the spring of 2021, is an illustration of a legal position. According to Greg Chen, the Senior Director of Government Relations for the American Immigration Lawyers Association, everybody who is present in the nation and qualifies for legal status has a right to a hearing before an immigration judge. Millions of people would need to be evacuated over a long period of time. Around 400,000 people were deported annually on average in the past. 2013, the final year of the Obama presidency, saw the biggest number in recent memory with more than 432,000. With more than 359,000 deportations, 2019 was the year with the greatest deportations under the Trump administration. DeSantis's statement demonstrates his utter lack of understanding of immigration enforcement operations, added Mr. Chen. Practically speaking, it would be difficult to deport so many people in a single term. Mr. Chen also emphasized the significant financial consequences of deporting many of the people who take on the riskiest and lowest-paying jobs in the United States, particularly in agriculture. Some firms claim that the immigration restrictions Mr. DeSantis passed this year in Florida have already resulted in a lack of workers in the agriculture industry, as well as in construction and hospitality. Additionally, undocumented workers are essential to the state's storm cleanup efforts, but many have stated that they would no longer risk visiting Florida due to the possibility of deportation. Deportations also have a large diplomatic element. In order to arrange the repatriation of its citizens, the United States needs to have good relations with the nations that are prepared to accept them. The requirement would make it extremely difficult to send back the hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans who have emigrated to the U.S. in recent years. To implement their proposals, a DeSantis or Trump administration would likely need to restore diplomatic ties with Venezuela and recognize Nicolas Maduro's administration, both of which Mr. Trump did not do while president. According to Aaron Reichlin-Melnick, the policy director at the American Immigration Council, a pro-immigration group, mass deportations are really hard to do. There would be a significant political backlash. Former acting ICE director Ron Vitiello recognized that deporting so many people had logistical, practical, and legal challenges during the Trump administration. But he claimed that if people thought they could stay for a long time, they would continue to cross the border illegally. According to Mr. Vitiello, if the rest of the world believes they won't ever be deported, that is an incentive for many people. You need to stop offering incentives to change border crossing traffic patterns. The fact that the idea of mass deportations of illegal individuals was not regarded as desirable or realistic when Republicans attempted to enact comprehensive immigration reform under President George W. Bush illustrates how drastically the political climate in the GOP has changed since then. In a fact sheet published in 2007, the Bush administration claimed that mass deportation is not a workable solution, at a time when the number of undocumented immigrants was considerably larger than it is now. It would be impractical, detrimental to our economy, and potentially catastrophic for families with strong ties to their communities to deport the millions of illegal immigrants who are already present in the country.
I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful. If you know anybody that could benefit from this information, definitely make sure to share this video with them. We are all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can benefit from this video, the more people we want watching this video. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs icon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more immigration updates. Bye!